anything can be achieved unstrategically, right? You don't need strategy to become successful. You don't need strategy to win. So you might then ask, well, how do people win without strategy? And the answer is they win through effort, which doesn't just mean sort of trying harder, working longer hours. Spending money is another form of effort. And what you're doing is you are brute forcing your way to the thing that you want.
But there's one beating heart of an organization. There's only one, and that's talent acquisition, because you cannot sell stuff if you don't have salespeople. You can't create stuff if you don't have product people, right? You can't do any of that without somebody going out and identifying and getting the best talent for you.
Like I used to, when I started in recruitment, it was always like recruiting's a sales job. How many times have you heard of people getting hired onto a company? They're the best candidate. They got the best resume. They interviewed the best. Everything seemed amazing. They were the rock star, the unicorn. And then 6 months later, like, yeah, it just wasn't a fit after all. And it's because we're doing it wrong.
For years, we've been having the same conversations, the same complaints, the same issues, the same Band-Aid fixes, the same, we'll get more agile next year, or this is the year we'll work more closely with business, or this is the year I'm gonna get my seat at the table. But it never happens. Feels like we're in a kind of a Groundhog Day situation.
When you look at a lot of hiring processes, they look like they're set up to make you fail. Like they're looking for reasons not to hire you. Very few processes are described by candidates as, it feels like this company really wants me to make it to the next step, or it feels like they really want me to win.
The hardest parts of creating organizational change are the spreading new behaviors. So it's not about initiating change. Like, again, like I worked in a lot of like innovation labs and accelerators where like getting things started took effort, but it wasn't the hardest part. It was about how do you spread new behaviors.
So the first type of marketing, let's call it brand marketing. And this is the type of marketing and advertising I suppose people grew up with and think about the Mad Men era. So it's very broad, it's very big, it interrupts you. And these types of big campaigns generally aren't trying to sell you something right now, but they're telling you a simple story about the unique value a company can provide.
Your intentions are good. You want to build a strategy. You want to take advantage of technology. You want to work more closely, more hand in hand with the business. Then your budget gets eaten up by all the same stuff you did last year and you've got nothing to show for it. You finish the year exactly where you started. We need to change. The world has been changing over and over again in seismic ways, but for the most part, the way we do talent acquisition looks very much like it's 2002 all over again. Isn't doing the same things again and again and expecting a different outcome or a different result, isn't that the definition of insanity?
I don't know that I've ever seen an honest discussion of how somebody has changed at a company, how they've transformed, how they've changed the way that they think, how it's made them, more confident or more effective or helped them really grow into their own.
So often in any sort of change regime, the very first step is like to hang the fucking mission accomplished banner and go like, this is the big thing we're going to do together, rah, 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 like get the cheerleading squad out. And all that typically does inside organizations, and this is like very well researched, is like increase skepticism and cynicism. And cynicism is viral inside organizations because your cynics are typically the most connected people inside the organization.
If you allow somebody to call you a cost center, first and foremost, that's your fault.
If you ever feel that you are kind of working hard, that you're sort of pushing a stone uphill, all you're feeling is the visceral sensation of lack of strategy.
Everybody in TA says there's got to be a better way, that there is a way to change, but we don't. So that's why I wanted to invite some of the smartest thinkers from inside and outside the industry to give us a different perspective, something that would help us look at our own problems in a brand new light. New thinking, new processes, new ideas. This is how you create real change. So welcome to the Definition of Insanity podcast. You're going to pick up some ideas and maybe even get inspired to be the best TA leader you can, to make the best TA function, perfect for you, your team, and your company. So subscribe to the Definition of Insanity podcast, available pretty much wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube if you want to watch the videos. It's brought to you by Employer Brand Labs and the Change Agent newsletter.